So Laxus versus Wahl, aka Wahl trying to look like Genos in this motherfucker chapter of Fairy Tail. Like, I seen that transformation, alright? It looked like Genos from One Punch Man. Hero, you been watching One Punch Man? Now, a couple of weird things with Laxus in this chapter. For starters, it looked as though either A, he doesn't have any more organs, or B, they're like just drowned in those magic particles of what happened to him in Tartarus. Now, if he don't got no organs, it would kind of explain a little bit better how Wahl was like, yo, how are you even still alive? Like, what the fuck is going on? And I love the badassery of Laxus, keeping it simple and brutal. Like, I don't know, and I've never given a fuck about that shit, but I know I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, I love that shit about Laxus. Even though the dude is probably a walking magic zombie at this point, he still don't give a fuck. I was a little shocked that Erza and Kagura, I thought they were actually in front of Demaria and ready to fight Demaria last chapter, but I guess they just arrived in the general battlefield, not in front of Demaria, because Wendy and Shelia are still the ones handling it. I'm curious if they're gonna fight that final. I think there was one final Spriggan 12 member that they haven't really seen yet, so they might either fight that one or eventually intervene, because I still don't really see, like, to be honest with you, the setup for it, you know, Wendy has evolved and stuff like that, and I'm sure Shelia has gotten stronger or whatever, but like, I still don't really see it being a case of that they can defeat her, because Demaria is one of the Spriggan 12. The Spriggan 12 have been hyped up to be this godlike fucking force, so how is two little girls, even though Wendy's gotten a lot stronger, and I'm sure she has, you know, all sorts of different techniques and Dragon Force that she can do at will and all this other good shit, but how is she going to be able to take on one of the Spriggan 12? That's my only concern, because Demaria has looked like a fucking boss, or seemingly supposed to be a boss, even though she's kind of weird on that lesbo shit. Like, you can tell that she's kind of like on that Kyoka from Tartarus stuff. And I think, judging from this chapter, that Demaria maybe has some sort of time controlling powers or very fast powers, because she said a split second from your perspective, so maybe she could slow down time and everybody's looking at it like, you know, nothing, or maybe she's really, really fast and people don't notice it. One or the other regarding Demaria's power. And then Wahl is kind of fucking weird, because they describe him as like an alchemist, but then at the same time he continues to act like a robot. He's like, okay, I gotta switch to serious mode, and it's like, is he like a robot alchemist? Like, what the fuck is Wahl? And of course, like I called it, the disease is afflicting Laxus in the worst way possible during the fight. Like, I called that totally, like, affecting him right when a big blast is coming at him. But I'm kind of wondering, because I saw, like, before anything hit him, his shirt was ripping on, like, one of the side Laxus's. Like, I'm wondering, maybe there's a possibility that some of the dragon Lacrima that he has inside of him has some of those antibodies that Natsu and them got from McNeil and stuff like that. Maybe that's what's happening. Like, who knows? Maybe he could be transforming into a fucking dragon because of the dragon Lacrima. Maybe there's something linked there, and he's gonna turn into, like, lightning dragon Laxus. Even though if anybody's gonna turn into a dragon, especially first, I would assume it'd be Natsu. But if Laxus could do that, that'd be hype. Especially the fact that, like, his organs is looking weird, or he don't even have them. You know, his whole body's covered in magic particles. Maybe he's gonna turn into a fucking dragon. And I also thought it was a nice change of pace as well, that Laxus is actually, for once, well, not once, but, you know, it's rare that he actually struggles in a fight. I mean, granted, it is because of, you know, the case of him having that disease, but nonetheless, he's still struggling in a fight, which is a little bit different than the norm for Laxus, that usually always goes in and fucks up his enemies in one, you know, fucking punch. And I ain't gonna lie, Wahl's new design, like I said in the beginning of this chapter, does remind me of Genos, but it looks fucking cool, and I really fucks with it. With all that being said, for the most part, it was a fighting chapter, and it had a lot of action in it, but it was still a pretty damn good chapter. I want to say 7.5 out of 10 for this chapter. A lot of really awesome stuff going on, a lot of cool setups and shit like that, and the stuff with Laxus being an even bigger type of deal, and kind of seeing what's happening with him is interesting. And, you know, the fight with Wendy and Shelia versus Demaria, I really hope somebody else steps in, because I just don't see them credibly taking her out. I don't know, unless they trick her with some lesbo shit or something. I don't know. Any overall thoughts of the chapter? Just what do you think about it in general? Again, a lot of action, but it was pretty damn good action. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook if you want more from me when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.